Oh, Travis, he's really a good man and always a good listener. He always brings peace of mind and earns the sweet affection and even better, the love of his family. You know, the bond between our two families doesn't come from lavish parties or dazzling red carpets. Music, it comes from the little things. It comes from me sitting on the Kelseys sofa with Donna watching an old movie and then we arguing about the plot as if it were a matter of life and death. Or when Jason and his wife Kylie tell me stories about Travis when he was little. His mischievous antics that make me laugh uncontrollably. That's when I realize I don't have to act Taylor Swift anymore. There I'm just Taylor, the girl who's in love and being loved by a warm family. Music, I chuckled softly, a gentle laugh like an autumn breeze. The intersection between the Swift and Kelce families. No, my dad, Scott, he's always been quite reserved about guys getting close to his daughter. But when he met Ed, Travis's dad, I felt an absolute sense of security. They were two men with the same mindset. They just wanted to see their children happy. They could sit on the porch, have a little wine, and talk about the ordinary things, about the weather, about old cars, about life back home. Music, in those moments, many people pictured a grand event in their heads, with thousands of guests, wedding dress designs featured in Vogue, or A-list celebrities. But what was the reality? Travis and I spent hours, sometimes all night, discussing what we truly wanted. I used to dream of big stages of spectacular performances, but when I thought about the day we officially became a couple, I saw a different picture. I wanted a pristine morning, music somewhere where only birds could be heard and waves crashing against the cliffs. I wanted a long party where the food was cooked using my 1 minute 54 seconds grandmother's, and Donna's mother's recipes. I wanted our closest friends from high school, the ones who still called me Tay and not some fancy nickname, to raise a glass to us. We planned for the ceremony to be like a real family picnic where everyone could take off their high heels or restrictive suits, music, and run barefoot on the grass or dance under the sunset. Someone asked me if I was afraid of boredom giving up the spotlight for such a simple wedding. I just laughed because for so many years I've lived in the spotlight to the point where I sometimes forget who I am without the spotlight. With Travis, I found my freedom again. He taught me how to enjoy eating a burger after a game, how to laugh out loud without having to check if any cameras are pointed at me. Our wedding won't have any breaking news on TV or sensational headlines. Music, it will be about heartfelt vows, about holding hands tightly while the world outside is spinning. It's about me officially entering the Kelce family, not as a celebrity but as a daughter and a wife. We want to build a home where fame is just something left outside the door. Inside, it's a promise that no matter how the world changes, no matter how busy Meyer Travis's work gets, we'll still have a safe zone, a place where I can be myself and where our two families are one. That's the most perfect wedding plan I could think of. An ordinary day in an extraordinary life we're building together. Jason and Kylie, they're not just my boyfriend's siblings. They're a reflection of a kind of love I've written about in my songs, but never truly experienced in real life. It's a love that doesn't need the spotlight, doesn't need the applause of the crowd. When you visit Jason and Kylie's house, the first thing you notice isn't music, the expensive furniture, but the noise, the children's running footsteps, the dogs barking. Music, Jason's laughter echoing through the kitchen as he tinkers with something. And Kylie, she's the anchor of it all. I've watched her how she manages everything with an extraordinary calmness. Kylie has an effortless beauty, a genuineness that makes anyone standing beside her feel completely accepted. And he taught me that happiness isn't something far away. It's about preparing dinner together, accepting each other's flaws, and most importantly, protecting our private space from the world's scrutiny. If you ask me what I admire most about them, it's their balance. Jason and Kylie have created a new oasis, a place where no matter what the media says about Travis, about me, or about their family, within those four walls everything remains stable. They are proof that in a turbulent world you can still choose a peaceful life if you have the courage to protect it. Landia, it felt like I had just shared the most sacred secret. I used to write that you love is a game, but looking at Jason and Kylie, I realized love is a foundation, and I finally have found the first bricks to build my own foundation. Dad Ed isn't the star. He doesn't need the spotlight or the cheers of the crowd to feel valued. He's a man of the ordinary, of quiet afternoons spent with a cup of coffee, of everyday stories that if you don't listen carefully, you'll miss the snorts most valuable lessons. I remember the first day I met him at the stadium. It was a media storm. Millions of cameras pointed at us. Thousands of headlines ready to grab attention. But amidst that chaos, Dad Ed walked up to me. He didn't look at me as a global phenomenon. He looked at me the way a father sees his daughter walking into his home. A slight nod, a warm smile, and a simple question. Are you hungry? It was that simplicity that melted my heart. Accustomed to grand and complicated things, when you spend your whole life living on tour buses in luxury hotels and always surrounded by crews of dozens, you start to lose sight of music normally. But when I sat next to Ed in the Kelce family kitchen, listening to him tell his life story about his years of hard work, about how he raised Jason and Travis to be kind-hearted men, I realized I was learning a new lesson. Ed taught me that a man's greatest strength doesn't lie in championship rings or million-dollar contracts, but in his unwavering commitment to the core values of family. There were afternoons when my father Scott and Ed would sit on the porch for hours talking about the impossible. They weren't talking about my fame or the pressures Travis was under. They talked about the weather, about old machines, about childhood memories. Looking at them, I saw a strange kind of harmony. It was the bond of fathers who had spent their lives protecting their children from the harsh realities of the world. For me, Ed's presence wasn't just about Travis. It was about me finding a second home that I didn't even know I was searching for. Okay, he had a very calm outlook on life. When asked about the moment she realized she had truly entered Travis Kelce's life, Taylor smiled, a smile no longer bearing the egginess of her breakup songs, but the peaceful serenity of someone being embraced. It wasn't a red carpet moment or under the lenses of hundreds of cameras. She shared it was a Sunday afternoon at Ed and Donna's Travis's parents' house. They didn't see me as Taylor Swift, a global superstar. They saw me as their son's girlfriend, someone who needed to be invited to dinner and asked if I liked stew. Taylor describes the Kelce family as an inspiring reality. In a world where every move she makes is scrutinized, the Kelce family has given her the greatest luxury. Normally, for Taylor, the down-to-earth nature of Donna Kelce, a woman famous for her unconditional support of both her sons, is a reflection of the kindness she has always sought, a connection beyond the spotlight. This article isn't just about love, but about the blending of two worlds, the heights of pop music and the cutthroat world of football. Taylor Swift shares that she learned a lot from how the Kelce family copes with pressure. Travis has a very special kind of confidence, and I realize it comes from his family. They taught me that no matter how high you are, the most important thing is how you get back up after you fall, Taylor revealed. She spoke of evenings spent watching games with the Kelce family, where she wasn't the one on stage controlling tens of thousands of spectators, but simply a family member cheering on her loved one. She also didn't hesitate to mention Jason Kelce, Travis's brother. Jason is a wonderful older brother. The way he protects his family, the way he and Travis music tease each other, it reminds me of my own childhood. It's so genuine that it makes me want to write tons of songs, not about heartbreak, but about togetherness. Lessons from the Kelce family kitchen. In a lengthy conversation, Taylor emphasized the family values she packed up and brought back after each visit. She spoke of simplicity, home-cooked meals, conversations unrelated to contracts or tours,